That is under line what?
Just like 2 years ago, I think, or last year.
Okay, that's under animation. So you go to reorder animation.
Oh, really?
It is not here. So when
Oh, animation page. Right. Okay, so on the side, if you click on it.
I think the first teacher died.
You don't want any
So when she
animation,
replaced
right?
her, oh, okay.
Okay,
My
so
mom
if
was
you click on
working
it,
as
it should be down at the bottom. There should be a minor trash can.
So, I would like to call to order our open session of the Calistoga Unified School District Board meeting at 6:05 p.m. I would like to say that there are no reports of actions taken in closed session. Next item is attendance roll call. Clerk Maxfield.
Here.
Trustee Altusha. Here. Trustee Junior.
Here.
Trustee Khan is absent. Student Rep Robledo.
Here.
President Lopez here. If you can all join us to honor our flag. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 8.0, the approval of the top agenda. Any changes to the agenda?
Yes, Madam President, I'm requesting that item 14.3, under action items, be removed from the agenda.
I move that we accept the agenda with the aforementioned change.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. All, sorry, this is a vote. Student Rep?
Hi.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item 9.0, the district mission statement. We are a collaborative, culturally rich educational community where our rigorous and innovative curriculum prepares our students to be successful contributors to a global society. Item 10.0, public comments. This portion of the agenda allows an individual the opportunity to address the board on any item regarding board business that is not on the agenda. Without taking action of entering into a dialogue with the public, board members may briefly respond to statements made or ask clarifying questions about topics posed by the public. Your matter might be referred to administration. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. And at this point, I would like to invite the public for comments.
Yes, Brian Fennon. First, I'd like to request that you post the board packet at least 5 days ahead. And it's not posted, the public cannot make informed comments on your agenda, not having any information prior to the meetings. So appreciate if you make an effort to post those. Secondly, in informational, as we've reestablished the Calistoga Elementary School PTA, and I know Michelle is here as well. I know Ellie Galindo is the new president. She couldn't be here tonight. She's spraining her ankle and been skipping around a little bit, struggling there. But so we hope to be more actively involved in that at the elementary school. Okay? Thank you.
Great, thank you. Anybody else? Seeing none, we're moving to item 11.0, reports, recognition, information, and discussion items. First one is 11.5, facilities update report. We call Chris Moss, our Director of Facilities.
I'm going to stand over here so that I'm not going to miss the presentation. So what I'll be going over tonight is the district-funded projects that mainly took place over the summertime. They're all complete now. We have some updates on them. And this happens to be out of order slightly, so I'm going to get to the first one, which is the campus exterior painting. The junior high and high school, as well as the old gym, had a full paint job. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. I think it looks pretty good. We've also wanted to update them so that they look like the master color scheme of the new buildings. In the library, we did a full remodel of the library building, which included relocating some walls to make a conference room, the student store, and the server room. That also actually included the college and career center. So we got, in addition to paint, carpet, and new furniture and bookshelves, the library has a microphone and projection system in there now. In the wood shop, we removed all the equipment, broke out all the concrete to replace that. Mr. Perry's doing a tiny house project, and he needed an area outside to do it. We also poured a slab out there for him and fenced off the area. And as part of that, we had to install some doors so that they could access that area from the wood shop without having to go around the building. We also replaced the entire dust collection system in the wood shop, which basically removes the dust as you're using the equipment, takes all the wood chips out and puts them in the bin. And then after that, all the new machinery that Mr. Perry purchased, we installed and hooked up. In Palisades High School, we did roughly the same thing we did at the library, which is carpet, paint, some casework. They also got a projection system and microphones. The elementary school, we updated the teacher's lounge with new casework, new paint, backboards, furniture. They also got a refrigerator. I'll show you some pictures of the finished projects. This is the exterior of the high school. This is the library. You can see it flows a little better, gives the students an opportunity to work together a little bit more. In the top left picture, you can see there's a comfortable study area that's great for laptops. We also got the librarian desk, and a new workstation area. You can also see the projector and the screen on that. This is some pictures of the wood shop. Top left are pictures of the modules that Eric, Mr. Perry, is going to be doing this year, which helps students learn plumbing, electrical, HVAC, surveying, stuff like that. There's also some of the new equipment in the picture. You can see the new casework that was installed. Down below is a pretty large unit. It's a big help for them. It's a panel saw. All the silver ductwork that you see there is all the new dust collection system. Works great. The bottom right-hand picture is of the tiny house that they're building. Palisades High School also got a new roof. You can see the new furniture, the projection system, carpet, paint, flooring. We did get them new chairs, but the students really liked the chairs they had. were kind of unique, so we went ahead and let them keep those. The CES Teachers Lounge, you can see it's got a new fridge, new casework, new flooring, tab boards, paint. It's an Insta-Hot, filtered water. They're really happy with that over there. The total investment in our capital improvements was $762,565. Next, I'll go over proposed projects for 2016. At the high school and the junior high will be moving forward with the Prop 39 exterior lighting replacement. That includes replacing all the exterior lighting with high efficiency LED lighting. We'll also be upgrading the lighting controls so that they're more efficient in their times on and off. So they're not on all night, but they don't need to be. For people that aren't familiar with Prop 39, it's a state-funded project that offers funding to educational agencies to upgrade their lighting systems to a cleaner energy. It's also meant to create clean energy jobs. In addition to that, we'll be replacing the fire lane at the elementary school. This was part of phase 2, and we got made an agreement with the fire chief at the Calistoga Fire Department that we would complete this in the summer of 2016 because we weren't going to have enough time to do it. Basically, in the playground area of the elementary school, there's kind of an imaginary path that is considered the fire lane. It's the path that the fire department will bring their trucks in through. It's an area that's wide enough for their trucks, it's big enough for them to turn around. Right now, the asphalt isn't up to par with what they require. So in that path, we'll be removing the existing blacktop and we'll be taking enough earth out to replace it with 4 inches of base rock and 2.5 inches of blacktop. What we'd also like to do is replace some of the damaged blacktop that's in the proximity of that fire lane. There's some low spots and broken asphalt that we'd really like to get replaced so that we don't have any more of those problems. Once that's all done, we'll seal and stripe the playground. It's not in this, but as part of that fire lane upgrade, we're going to be removing the existing ball walls and building new ones, and those will be placed over by the basketball courts on the grass area. At the elementary school, there's also some storm drain repairs that need to be done. There's 2 drains that run underneath the property and flow out to the Napa River there. One's a pretty large pipe that needs some repair inside. The other is a smaller pipe, but a little bit more important because the outlet on that pipe needs to be repaired because right now it could create an erosion problem if it doesn't get corrected. So that'll be part of the summer projects at the elementary school. The high school and junior high, the fire alarm there, we'd like to upgrade. We just upgraded the elementary school fire alarm. The fire panel at the high school is fairly new, but the wiring and the pull stations and the strobes and horns are part of the old system. And we'd just like to tie it together and replace that so that it's up to par with the elementary school fire alarm. The basketball courts here that are located outside next to the tennis courts, we'd like to pull power from Palisades and install 6 to 8 light poles with a couple of light heads on. We're not positive how many we're going to need to light up that area, but we would like to definitely get the lighting done over there. Lastly, the classroom flooring replacement. The junior high in Palisades all have new carpet. There are some classrooms at CES as well as the high school that need to be replaced. And as you can see there, that's what we have in mind for summer flooring replacement. Is there any other questions or comments?
Yeah, if you can go back to the total investment slide, I think there is a discrepancy with the information we have on the board packet.
Okay.
It's probably a typo or something, but we had 819,000.
Yes, I had gone through this later and we determined there were a couple items that identified in modernization that we needed to.
So the slide's correct.
Yes.
Then my question was, the ball wall, the important ball wall. So we're moving that by the basketball courts, we're gonna extend the asphalt?
Yes. Basically where the storage containers were during last summer's construction, that's the area we're gonna look to doing that.
I also want to say that the board, some of the board members, we did a visit around the schools, and we were very impressed with all the work that has been done. And I really encourage parents and public to visit the installations and take a look at all the wonderful things that are being done, so that you can get the full picture of what is accomplished so far. And I think we should be very proud of ourselves as a school district, as a community, of everything that we have done. So, thank you. Great job.
Thank you. I think everything looks great. Would like to see some people come through and take a look, especially the wood shop. That's
Oh,
yes.
probably my favorite.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Considering my neighbors are probably one of those tabletops in the same.
You kept those.
Yeah, I saw that.
Moving on, item 11.2, Sarasota Unified School District website update. Welcome, Dr. James Brown.
Thank you. Good. Get situated here. Good evening. It seems like it's been a while since I've had an opportunity to present in front of you, quite some time, so I appreciate being able to come here and share a little bit of some of the things that are going on, in particular around online, because I think we're in a place where we're starting to see some opportunities for both students and teachers and the district as a whole of utilizing more digital communication as we move forward. So my presentation will be very brief, and I want to spend a little time if you want to actually look and cruise through the website a little bit, if you have any specific questions. I know people have comments and are starting to look at it, so anything that comes up that we can address right away would be a good thing for us to just be aware of. Just to go back in the history of what the old site was about, it had been up for quite some time, and I think a lot of people felt that it would kind of a stale look about it. It didn't often kind of catch the eye or elicit much excitement about it. It was difficult to maintain as well. The platform it was on was very difficult to upload things. There were a lot of steps that you had to go through to maintain it. And as a result, it didn't get updated very frequently. It was also such a rigid platform, we couldn't do anything to change the design or make it look any better. And cost-wise, it was far more than what we would think we would spend for something that we didn't have a lot of flexibility with. Usability, yeah. And we'll say that, because that's one of the things that we tried to address when we were doing that. Yeah, it was hard to navigate. There was a lot, you see on the side, there's a lot of things to click on, and it's hard to tell what to click on. So our goals of redesigning it, we're really to freshen it up, get it a little bit more modern looking, simplify the publishing process so it wasn't such a heavy thing for people to do, because everybody's very, very busy, and the last thing we want to have to worry about is being able to put something out for, like Mr. Bennett said, is getting things out to the public as quickly as possible and as efficiently as possible so that we're not missing very much. We also wanted to distribute the content maintenance, because a lot of times what was going on with the website fell on one or two people who weren't necessarily have the ability or the time to deal with it. We also wanted to have access to more tools, so that meant that if we wanted to do things like digital forms or be able to do submissions through the website, we wanted to be able to do that. We couldn't do that with the existing site. Easier navigation, that goes to usability, so being able to do that, and ability for more community and student involvement, which was a critical piece, because we didn't have the ability for students to be able to publish their work or teachers to be able to publish their school websites other than within the Google Apps for Education. And we wanted to have a platform where everyone in the community could participate, not just one or two people. And that goes to extending our curricular activities. So we wanted to be able to showcase student work and provide them an opportunity to for them to show the community and, you know, at this point in the world, because you put it out online, everybody gets to see it. So the steps we took was we hired a local website design, very small firm. They had done some other sites, and we got a couple of good referrals, and the board approved the agreement with them. They did a complete site redesign, and the biggest lift that they had was to take all of the various content that we had on the old site and made sure it made it over to the new site. So that was a bit of a task for them to do, and they had to move things back and forth. It was very tedious. So we recently trained the district office staff, the high school staff. The Valley Fire put a little pause on us being able to train the staff over at the elementary, but that's going to be happening this week. So hopefully we'll have everybody trained by the end of the week. Things are starting to get updated on the site, and as people get more and more comfortable, we'll be able to see more updates more frequently, hopefully on a regular schedule. Most of the out-of-date content we're catching as it comes. There are some links that are broken, so if people do find things, just send an email to me or to Monique and make sure it's the right person. Because right now, there may not be somebody who's responsible for that specific section, and it's a good opportunity for us to decide who would be responsible for those materials. So regular updates, planning additional features, create communications, operational efficiencies. What I mean by that is how can we use the platform now that we have to do a better job of communicating with all partners and with all stakeholders in the community, so that it's not just a one-way communication, but we can start doing two-way communication through the site and building a community online there that mirrors the community that we have offline. And then operational efficiencies, which is how can we use technology? Because one of the things that we want to do, that we leverage technology for in the classroom, is bringing much more efficiency to the teaching and learning process. We can do that with our operational aspects as well. There's no reason why we can't be using the technology to bring more efficiency to our operational duties and all the things that we have to do just to keep the district running. So where we are now is, I'm sure everybody's seen it, it's probably not a surprise, I hope, but we'll take a look at it again, is we have a site that I believe it's mobile. It should be mobile friendly as well, so if you hit it on your mobile phone, it shouldn't look all huge and terrible. It should pare itself down a little bit so you can navigate on your mobile phone. Much more modern, more accessible URL, so one of the things we want to do is use calistogaschools.org rather than that big long Calistoga K-12 and went on forever. Much easier publishing platform is within a product called WordPress, which is a platform that many people use, millions of users use online to organize, to build their websites. We have an ability now for classroom sites, and specifically for both teacher sites where they can publish their classroom work, either parents or for students, but also we just launched the PAW, which is the high school newspaper, the junior high school newspaper, and so they're able to have their whole platform or their whole class, the journalism class, within one site where the students can publish, where the teacher can edit their work, and they can put it out to the community on its own web address. So that was a really big step for us to be able to do that and have the students fully participate in that process. Business, working with Jenna on a lot of trying to figure out some business services things that can be done with the site, because we have a lot of tools and plugins we can put into it. And the distributed publishing is a very big thing for us, is that shared responsibility for the site, and everyone having kind of the role they play to update the material on there, so it's much more effective. And I believe that's it. So if you have any questions.
The junior high does a great job with their,
Yes.
nothing integrated.
Yes, yeah, so for instance, we have a couple of professional development sites. The teachers have done lots of resources on them. So one of the task that I'll be doing as we get this going is collecting a lot of those sites and providing at least links out to them. Because we also have our internal, our teaching and learning environment, which is Google Apps for Education. Those things can be integrated, but we need to make sure that we're not putting out material that people don't actually want to make public.
Yeah, and then just so I'm clear, each of the, let's say for the purposes of, I know they're already doing it, the elementary school teachers each have the ability to have a website where they can put some basic weekly updates on.
Yeah, and I can show you an example of that. Every teacher that registers with a site, we can set up a separate site that they can control and they can put links in. A lot of teachers have their own sites, but what we've done, for instance, with Mrs. Brooks with her bio class is that, with her physics class, is that she has, we put a page of links and it goes to the class materials for the students so they can get it from that site as well.
We're going to do a little teacher trainings.
Yes.
That'd be great if that's what the teachers.
Yeah, we're starting with the junior high on Wednesday. They're doing a retreat on Wednesday, so I'll be going in and going over the website with them on Wednesday. So as the opportunity arises that we're doing release days with the teachers, we're doing those types of trainings so that it's something we can get set up for them and they can start using as soon as possible.
My son's teacher is using Classic Dojo. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Yes.
It's an app. I don't know if that was something that they can, that's kind of cool. She just throws out every day.
Yeah.
What happens in class. It's cool.
Yeah, that's really great. And another one along the same lines that some teachers have been using is called Classcraft that kind of gamifies the whole thing. It's similar to Class Dojo, but everybody has a character. So there are tools like that, yes, that we want to make sure that we're utilizing the best effect for students in the classroom, and then we can integrate with the site.
So another question, are we synchronizing the calendars? Or at least have them easier to kind of find and.
Yeah, the plan at this point is to use the Google Calendars because they can be managed at the site level and then link those, we can embed those into this website. This website fully integrates with our Google Apps for Education. So if someone creates a class calendar or a school-wide calendar or a district-wide calendar that's managed by multiple people, it can be put right into the site and it will be pulled up live so that any changes that happen will be featured there. So it's just a matter of, some people have been trained on how to do those calendars, some have not. As soon as what I'd like to do is all the new calendars come out, have them in the Google Calendar and then do that.
Just as long as I can get to it from the side.
Yes. Got it.
I'm just wondering.
Anything that has to do with schedule, I think it seems to me to have a high priority for the sites, bus schedules, calendars, things like that. We want to tackle that first because those are the things I think, my impression is those are the things that parents and the community comes to see first.
I'm going to ask a big question. Translate that in Spanish.
Oh, for the website?
It has not.
Oh.
It was a heavy lift
I know,
just
that's a
getting
big
it
one.
over.
That's a big one. I just thought for the future.
But yeah, we'd love to, if we have some, and actually I've never translated a website, so maybe we have some resources or suggestions on how to proceed with that, that would be,
It's actually in most browsers now that it's translated automatically.
yeah, translate.
I'm not saying it translates very well.
You get the gist of it.
Yes.
So maybe the solution is to put some kind of notification on the website to tell people how to turn on their translation. Or long-term to translate the entire site would be, I think would be a good task for us to do if we could do that.
We could, but at the same time, just keep in mind the quality of the translation. If you do it from Google, for instance, sometimes it gets it right, sometimes, most of the time it doesn't.
Yeah.
So, I have to give a caution against that. If we have a person who's a professional doing the translation, it would be much better. I know that costs a little bit of money, but we can, but the most important things,
Yeah,
message that do not move constantly, that can be,
right. Exactly, so I think that would be helpful to identify what are the most critical things that need to be
Exactly.
translated.
information needs to be
And then-
posted in both.
Yeah, focus on those.
Especially if you consider that the population, the parent population is very large, and we are not, all of them are, bilingual, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
I'm going to open the final can of worms, and that is maybe in the beginning to establish who's going to be the publisher. That, and I'm, from that, but maybe have that comment with the space on the front page of the website for about the first month, people like Brian can go through and comb through it if there's any issues and shoot off. It'll be great, and we've got all these users out here who can tell us what's missing. Feedback.
Feedback form, yes, okay. Duly noted.
That's Dr. Brown right there.
Yeah, right now, I think I have the feedback form, and I am accepting comments. But I think in the long run, like I said, that is part of that two-way conversation, which is how does the community reach us? Because it's not always easy to find the right person in an organization, especially a school. Who should I call to say something about that? Calendars, those types of things. So this will help us to organize that more, to be more intentional about that. So thank you. Yes.
Just one more thing, social media. I
Yeah.
know there's been some talk about Facebook page for the district, and I know that some parent groups in the elementary school have,
We just have one.
you have the, cats,
Wildcats.
wildcats.
But,
So, if there is some, research on how is the best way to go about creating a Facebook page for the district that is, has all the systems in place for privacy and security and safety.
I know Dr. Mondragon has done a lot of conversations with other superintendents. That it's a topic at a lot of superintendent meetings or district meetings about social media, how to utilize it, what the dangers of it are,
Right.
and what the complications are. The district does have a Facebook page currently that Monique is operating.
Yeah, we'll be tagging the website, I want to make sure the website's up and running, and then we'll get the Facebook all situated.
Yeah. And then the further questions are, how do we want to integrate those things with the website? Because Facebook, as we see from the disaster that just happened, the digital piece of this can be pretty central to communication, how people are communicating, things like Twitter. We do have the social media platform, the accounts set up. There is just not someone designated to be the representative at this point. And I think it's very important that we select the right person to represent the school through those media if and when we do that.
I think we have a question, Mr. Bennett?
Yeah, I've mentioned in years past, get the website updated. You say the old one was stale because it wasn't updated. I mean, it was a little cumbersome, but you could figure it out. I've seen your new one up there since at least August. And just a couple comments while I have the opportunity. The first thing, you have some nice pictures there, but then you got a logo and a title over people's faces. People I know. It's like, so I would, get those out of their faces, please. Just a comment. But the other thing is, it's a cleaner look, but it seems to have less information. Definitely not up to date. So I kind of have a question about, as a parent, I'm not interested in interacting with the website. I'm interested in factual information, schedules and things. If I go to the old website, Wildcat Cafe, I got the menu from October. If I go to the new website, I get the menu from June, I think it is. So it brings down the question is what's the end date that we can expect things, calendar things, events, everything like that, be current?
So we'll have the rest of the staff trained this week on how to update the site, and then what we'll need to do is each of the sites, the high school, the district office, the elementary school, will set up their own publishing schedule, their own schedule on when the material is updated, what needs to be prioritized first. So the most important thing that we have right now is make sure that the people know how to do that, which we're finishing up. And once they know how to do that, then each of the sites will develop control of their own schedule on when they're going to have that updated. So I wouldn't be able to speak to that, of when they're going to be able to fit that into their schedule, when they're going to have that updated. What's their priority? I don't know what they want to get first. I assume it's going to be calendars, things like that. And I'll assist in that when they know who and what is going to be updated.
Okay. Is there a staffing and budget, is there a budget and staffing for this, for the additional work it's going to take to keep it up to date?
Not at this point, no.
Sorry, go ahead.
You, in your presentation, you spoke about the PAW, the high school newspaper.
Yeah.
Do you want to speak, since we have a representative from Tribune here, what you found? We have the article for you.
So just to get an idea of kind of the reach of this goes, and I think it goes to the community coming and looking at it is one thing, but also what happens is that event happens, like there's an article in the newspaper when we released the PAW, it was in the Tribune, and on that day there were about 1,200 or 1,300 people who came to that site and viewed that site. So there could be a huge fluctuation in the level of people that are viewing it, and the question is that how can we highlight and portray the student work in the best light when we have those kinds of spikes in what we're doing? So as we coordinate with the high school and do more of those types of things with the community, then it kind of elevates those tools for everyone.
One of the words we use in education is raises the level of expectation.
Yeah.
When the students who were in the school newspaper class saw that close to 1,400 people saw their online, they were quite surprised, but also they realized they better step it up.
Yeah, I think one of the students was a little mortified that her article had been read by 75 people. So it was quite a big audience for an article like that.
Yes, it was great.
I just want to be sensitive to time that going through it, I don't believe that we have time to do that. So if there's anything specific you want to see, I can do that, or we can do it at another point. Or I'm hoping that all of you will just go to calstarschools.org, take a look there, and if you have questions or comments, just send me an email.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I would like to take this moment to introduce a star in the room. We have Jesus Rojas here. Welcome, Jesus. I think you all know who Jesus is, but I would like to ask David to just give us a little bit overview of Jesus' journey, and maybe, I don't know if Jesus wants to say anything to us.
Sure. Jesus is an 8th grade student at our school. He's been running cross country the last couple of years. And each year, I think, at the junior high race, he set every record in the final race. Right? You hold the record for the last 2 years at Spring Lake. So he's quite accomplished, even more so before we even start to talk about his accomplishments that he's had in the last couple weeks. 2 weeks ago, he participated in the Junior Olympics for Northern California and Northern Nevada in Folsom, California, and he took 4th place, which qualified him for a race a week later in Fresno, which I believe was a Region 14 race, in which he qualified, which he took 5th place at that race. So of all the kids in the region, he was in 5th, which then qualified him to run this coming weekend in New Mexico for the national race in age 13-14. And so Jesus has been coached by Mr. Heights and Mr. King, who was a substitute here for the last few years. Also, Mr. Hine was his coach last year as well. And so they're all very excited because, we expect great things with him next to this weekend. Not much pressure, but he knows that he is doing really well. Do you want to say anything? Just come on to the podium and at least introduce yourself. Not only does he run cross country, but he also plays basketball, and just a kid who plays any sport that's out there. So he played, Cub football as well. especially in cross country.
I'm Mr. Sue, and I want to thank you for the school that has helped me to get better, school that I like. It was like a community that helped me got a chance to go to something new that I haven't gone.
I also forgot to mention that, I was passing out Scholar Athlete Awards today. And for first quarter, he had a 4.0 GPA.
And it seems I understand that you actually have exceeded your goal in terms of fundraising. You are over 3,000. Fantastic. Thank you to everybody who has
There's one other thing. The boosters also put together some I Support Jesus t-shirts, and I know they're selling them. They were out here earlier before the board meeting and after school for the kids. So if you see some boosters members, you might want to ask them if you can purchase one of the shirts.
Thank you for coming, Jesus. We're very proud of you. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
And you don't have to stay for the whole day.
And Ms. Owens, who's the high school cross-country coach, is also looking forward to him for next year.
Well, and since you already on the microphone, would you like to
Sure,
say
certainly.
a word? And
Certainly. So much has happened since the last time we met. Our junior high, one of the things that we've been trying to build this year is a sense of community in the junior high. And one of the things that we're doing is taking field trips as a junior high, 7th and 8th grade. So last week, we took 118 kids to the Tech Museum in San Jose. Kids explored throughout the museum for a while. Then we had some workshops. There were workshops on chemistry, roller coasters, and earthquakes. So kids broke into different groups, and they went to different workshops to learn about those three topics. The kids had the opportunity to walk through the Tech Museum and look at. There's an anatomy piece where they have a cadaver, the 3D cadaver, that you can kind of look at, and they take apart layers, and so you can see the insides of people. They learned about flight at one of the other exhibits, so they had a great time on that. We also are going through Safe School Ambassadors training, and I know the high school did that last week, and again, part of this is about the anti-bullying environment. So the Safe School Ambassadors are trained to think, to notice, to act, and follow through. So when they see bullying and they see things that shouldn't be happening on campus, they're really the eyes and ears, and so they're being trained to respond to that and let us know what's going on as adults. So there's a couple other things. Palisades. Last week they finished their Young Entrepreneur program through Napa Valley College, and they were rewarded by going through a ceremony in St. Helena the other day. So they've completed some training on entrepreneurship. That's very exciting because they were out in the community learning experiences about businesses. The last thing is in athletics. Ms. Yoder's been working on a Calistoga athletics website. So we'll talk to James about putting a link from the homepage to there. It's calistogaathletics.com, and you should check it out because she's starting to put things up. The schedules that are constantly changing are there instantly, so check it out, because when you're talking about calendars and these moving dates of games and things, it's live there, and she's been able to change it and keep it up to date. So Calistoga.
By the way, that is linked on the current website.
Okay, great. Thank you.
thank you, David. Any questions or comments? No? Okay, I know that we have a written report by the elementary school acting principal, and Jane here, so we want to ask if you have anything you want to say.
for his responsiveness at the elementary school, particularly with some of the issues that we've had lately, safety issues and things like that. Chris, we know that you're short-handed and you are extremely responsive, which provides our teachers with a sense of security so that they can relay that to the parent community. So thank you very much for that. With regard to CES, we've got lots going on. Sunshine Fund is at their best right now. There's a lot of joy at the school. There's a lot of positive, just a positive spirit throughout the school. Students, teachers alike. At our Monday morning message today, we continue with our life skills, which are vitally important to elementary kids. And we kick off December with compassion. So that's goes along with our camp food drive. Our performances are this week. We're looking forward to packed houses. Our parent community supports us tremendously. And shout out to our leadership teachers who really have our students on center stage and seeing all of our student activities. Ms. Lamar, our new vice principal, will also be at each performance translating the principal information. So it'll give Ms. Lamar the opportunity to actually be introduced to all of our parents this week before she starts on full time. So we're grateful. And do you have any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. My board report's a little long, so I'll try to get through as quickly as possible. I apologize for that. Last year, we started the process of looking at a different bell schedule. And I know prior to this, teachers came and made a presentation. They wanted to continue that process. And so we met this year and we talked a little about concerns. It's always been a concern of Wednesdays. And I provided some information on there and some data as it relates to Wednesdays. And they just feel like there's so much lost instructional time. And what they're hoping to get approval for is a schedule that I provided here where we block out on Wednesdays and Thursdays. And I've provided some data, some research data that would support that too. And I'm not sure how to proceed with this. Is this something that the board votes on or?
No, the board doesn't have to vote on it, but the board does have to have input.
So I'm sure you've already looked over the data and what I've provided for you. Do you have any input at all?
It's a question. In your general comments, you list that there are pros and cons to block scheduling. You list many of the pros. I'd be curious what cons you've found and what are the issues that we need to consider.
I think really the biggest con was teachers adapting to a block schedule who have never worked in a block schedule. Unfortunately, for our staff, staff who was here when we had a block schedule understanding within our district have learned to develop their curriculum with those 90 minutes compared to 52 minutes. And our new hires both came from a full block schedule where they were blocked 4 days a week with 1 day where they saw all the students. So that was the biggest con that I can remember that stuck with me. I was more focused on more the positives of it. Dr. Brown, oh, you left already. He helped me with some of the data too. So that's, I apologize, that's the only thing I can remember is the con. So I don't think it's going to be a con for our school because the teachers have had that opportunity to be able to plan to teach and know how to create an instructional plan that is 90 minutes long compared to a shortened period which we currently have 4 days a week and then a really short period on Wednesdays. The teachers were unanimous last year when we took a vote. They were unanimous about two things about the discussion. One was they wanted to see the advocacy or advisory period built in where, similar to what the students have now with Abbott, they stay with the same teacher all 4 years. There's a feeling that, what about the students who aren't in Abbott? Is there that connection with one person on campus? And also, too, the ability to build in time for a tutorial. Because currently now, if a student is absent, the student will either take the test during class time, which means they're missing out on whatever's going on in class when they were gone, and then now they're going to miss out see where that could take place when kids would go to the past and with help from the teacher or later class and so on. And the other thing was the unanimous we need to change Wednesdays. It's just very, very frustrating for all the teachers. Like I said, PE teachers dress, spend 12, 15 minutes, and then redress again on Wednesdays. With our new CTE classes, get your tools out, or you have to lab. Science teachers can never do a lab on Wednesday because by the time you introduce the lab, it's, well, now it's the period's over. So, the con two, I guess, one of the other ones was students adapting to the block. And that'll be our job to inform students and show them how it will work and how it will benefit them. For our students, the benefit will be that instead of having homework, let's take for instance, you're a student who takes a lot of AP classes. You might have homework for 4 or 5 classes because you see 7 periods. If on a Wednesday you only saw 3 of your classes, you might only have 2 or 3 classes that you have homework, maximum 3. And then on Thursdays 4. So, and we have less teacher contact. I mean, there's really not a job where you have 7 bosses and you have to get up and move to the next boss every 30 minutes. It's ridiculous. I mean, if you ask anyone to do, I did it one day and it was hard for me to do, to have to get up and move that many times. So
this is kind of a hybrid.
it's a hybrid.
So we're doing block for Wednesday and Thursday.
Right.
So you'll see on those 2 days, the teacher wants in 2 days. But then on the other 3 days, they see them all the time.
And I just want to make sure that it is clear to the board that what is being proposed is actually to start the schedule second semester.
The teachers are in favor of this. Really anxious.
And this is also planning to the middle school or just the high school?
It has to be tied to the junior senior high school because we have some teachers who actually teach both classes, high school students and junior high. Sure.
So actually, when Mr. Wyckoff told me about this and mentioned it, and also my ASB teacher, Mr. Hartel, mentioned this, I went and asked, because I came from a school that had a block schedule, but it was a full block 8 every day, and I personally, from my experience, it was not what I liked, but so it's not just about my opinion, but I went and polled some of the students and some of the teachers, and I mean, I got a lot of mixed reviews. I don't know, I don't think it was very unanimous amongst the teachers because I actually got, I got a couple of them, but most of them told me too, oh, keep me anonymous, I don't want my name there, I'm not tenured yet, but things like that. But they mentioned too that a block schedule would be really hard on our math and languages and things like band too, because those are things that you have to do every single day in order to keep up, and especially math, because our school is already struggling with math. I don't know if you guys know that, but I know some of my friends too, they're already they're seniors and they're not even sure if they graduate because they're still in core geometry and they're not really sure. But and also the teachers, a couple of them said it would be really hard, especially to start this next semester, because it would have to change their whole lesson plan if they already prepared for the year. And I got that from a couple teachers, and they wouldn't some of them I know he mentioned that the new science teachers are from a block schedule teaching, but some teachers are not. So I don't think they're being prepared for it. But yeah.
What do you think about just having it be the proposal where it's a hybrid? Try and see on that.
Yeah, some of the teachers, so I mentioned that too, and some, especially my peers that are in seniors, they kind of felt like they were guinea pigs, and they didn't really like that. But some teachers too, that's what they said that. So I heard a couple reviews that mostly the junior high teachers favored this, and not the high school teachers, because the junior high teachers primarily work with project-based learning, and so it makes sense, to have a couple days to do it, or oh, I'm going to see you Monday and then not until Tuesday or Wednesday, But for the high school students, especially in math, they need to do it every single day. based. That was their review.
But so if you were going from seeing a math teacher instead of 5 days a week, you're still receiving 4 days a week.
Yeah.
Or for longer on that one day.
And I thought another point to add to it is that at the high school also, we're really expanding the career technical education. So, Mr. Wyckoff, do you want to address that and how, especially in those classrooms, obviously, the more time you have, the better it is to complete the projects that you're working on. So.
Very well, sums it up perfectly. Thank you. It does, it provides more time. And I understand that I am the principal, but we did gather all the teachers together and we did what's called a fist of 5, where you raise your hand up, 5 are unanimous, and this you just cannot live with it. We had 5s and 4s, that was it. And everybody got to see how everybody voted, and that's how they felt. As it relates to math, I guess that's something, a charge of mine is to help them, because maybe they don't fully grasp where we talk to, how Common Core math works. It's students now having to delve into the math, write about how they solve the problems, present that information. It takes a lot more time. It's not just the traditional where we're going to go over the homework for the night, and then we're going to introduce some problems, and then we're going to give some time to practice that and learn how to homework. But it is more than that. It takes more time. And I don't know if any teacher who hasn't in our school worked on a block schedule before, so I know they wouldn't be unanimous.
Anonymous?
Anonymous?
I'm not sure.
Any other questions?
So is there a reason to do this in the spring instead of the fall for your?
Well, and that is a conversation that I've had with Mr. Wyckoff as to whether the timing was the right thing. It is the second semester. I think I agree that there are some definitely positives in terms of block schedule. It does require for the teacher to be highly organized and prepared, because it is 90 minutes instead of 50 minutes. So it is a significant change.
But I think our staff is up for it. I think the cons of starting at the mid-year for some of the teachers, that could be true. But the pros of being able to use that time on Wednesdays more efficiently, it just feels like so often I hear and see in the classrooms that time isn't being utilized efficiently. There's other things going on those days that aren't instructional, because they just feel like they have 30 minutes of things to accomplish. I mean, you might see that too, right? On Wednesdays that maybe there's not a lot. Right. And it's because they don't feel like they have the time to get something accomplished. It's virtually impossible for our CP classes to really get anything accomplished in Wednesdays, because it is project-based, it's hands-on. It requires them to do things differently. In 30 minutes, by the time the kids come in and take role and settle down, you're already into the class a little bit and having to talk about what they're going to do for the period, and then there's just not enough time. So sometimes some of our staff members have given up, unfortunately.
So Mr. Wyckoff, do you see this basically, because it's only twice a week in the sense that they would have a different schedule, as a way to test it and see if it can work and move into having a complete approach to block schedule?
I think so. This would be a good opportunity for us to have a trial run with it, see how it works. We do have an in-service in February. So one of the things David and I are talking about is how can we support our staff who are struggling with the block schedule, and maybe in-service things to talk about.
Thank you. Thank you. Moving on to student representative.
Would you like to hear the rest of my report?
Oh, sorry.
That was it?
That was, we're not using the block schedule tonight.
We're only at 30 minutes.
Sorry.
So I just want to let you know that we're in the planning stages. It's nothing formalized yet. But a report came out from the North Bay Consortium of counties that are part of the North Bay. And there's a high demand for jobs in specific areas, and we're looking at trying to find ways to meet that demand. So, we provide these reports as computers and journalists and so on. One of the areas is in healthcare and biotechnology. And so we're looking at UC A through G approved class that will give students exposure into healthcare, nursing, and so on, but then integrating some of the other things in biotech. One of our new teachers just went to Sonoma College last Friday, and Genentech is in Fairfield, as you know. And there's a couple other big companies that are settling in this area that are biotech focused, and they are looking for people in that area. And one of the things they said is they're so desperate for jobs that they're hiring high school students. They want high school students to have specific soft skills that are so important in that. And so that's what they're hiring for. So they're hiring for. But also the interest in the area of biotechnology, maybe brief exposure. And then also the CT, Chemistry of Alternative Energy, is a partnership with PG&E, and she is really excited about this, and so we're pursuing that. So I just want you to be aware of that. The information about our counseling department, what they're busy with, is here in the board report, and then our College and Career Center also. Both items there, so you can see what Ms. Romo and Ms. Craig Morales are up to. Student outcomes for student achievement, you can read about that. Our staff has been really involved in making these parent phone calls, which is really exciting to me, both in Spanish and English, and we're using the new expanded conference room at the library. We now have a conference phone, so Teresita, who's our library tech, can help in that process. And we had a parent portal night, which was really exciting, and we had over 70 families showed up. And we're trying to encourage more families to get onto the portal, and it is in Spanish and English. They can log into both, and so they can check their students' grades, attendance, and so on. And then also we took the opportunity to sell some of our used Chromebooks, and Teresita has been really great about helping with that process and getting those out to the families. And then we have the Educational Foundation. As you know, CF has been very supportive of field trips with junior high and high school. You can see our art class and drama class on field trips, and our ASB and on the ropes course. And then we had our winter formal last Friday. I thought it was quite enjoyable. It was really well decorated. We could probably talk about that. Okay, I won't go into that. And our ninth graders visited UC Davis, and our 10th graders will be going to Sonoma State University. And then, like Mr. Kumura mentioned, the Safe School Ambassador program, the training was fantastic. It was quite moving and impactful, and we'll be sharing that with the rest of the staff at our next staff meeting. And kudos and high honors go to Sandra Van Dyke, who's the person responsible for our ACES program. She's the one that spent the time to write the grant and got the money and has organized the whole thing. It's been really quite impressive. She's done a fantastic job. And she's also in the teaching credential program, so for math, which is very exciting. And the last thing, is an idea came to me, and this idea of doing a positive note home. And every faculty meeting, I have a printed list of all the labels for all the students, and these little cards, and it's a time for them to pick 3 students and peel them off, and put them on the card, and then they write a little note, and Teresita looks up to see if they're a Spanish-speaking family, and she translates it for it, so it's both English and Spanish. And it's been really exciting. We had one of our students who I thought would never use his label to the very last, because I want every label gone. And his was gone the first day, and his father came to school really with tears because he never started making positive. And came in and pulled his son out, and it was quite a moment. And so and I appreciated Mr. Heights for keeping him by the way. So maybe you haven't got your card yet. That's the really fun.
Thank you very much.
with each other in that class. And as he mentioned as well, the drama class and art class went on field trips to San Francisco, went to the art museum, and then they went to go watch a play. For athletics, our winter sports season just started. We have our first, all 4 teams are playing tomorrow for basketball, and we have our June Duffy tournament on the 9th through Saturday. Not sure what the dates. And then for ASB, as Mr. Wyckoff started that, we also had our winter formal dance on Friday. Before that, so also during the day, we had a rally, and it was another thing that is kind of starting to become annual, but it's our volleyball tournament. So it's where the guys go out and play volleyball, and the girls coach them. So it's kind of like a reverse powder puff type of thing. And yeah, that's pretty cool. Also, seniors are finishing their applications. Ms. Roma has helped a lot with the applications for the seniors and getting out the word for scholarships as well. Also, one thing too that just to finish it off is our seniors. So actually, Jesus, you know how you mentioned he had a GoFundMe account that really helped him get money for him to be able to go to New Mexico. So the seniors, our senior class president, Nick Ramirez, he made a GoFundMe account for all the seniors, so that way we could get most money possible, so that people who can't really afford it usually can go to senior trip. And yeah, he has a really high goal, I think. But if you guys would like to get the word out there too, we're probably gonna put flyers in the public and try and see how much money we can get. But yeah.
The goal for the students is they want to, there's only been a select group of kids who go on the student trip, is to try to get everybody to go. And so they've got all these ideas, the restaurants involved. I'm really proud of them. And then it's amazing that the volleyball, the volleyball, not every student participates, but they're all so polite, they're so supportive of each other. And it's really a neat experience being in the gym. It's I've been to schools where it's a lot of work for us as administrators because kids are messing around a lot. Everybody is so positive and so supportive of each other. And it's also kind of fun watching our lady athletes kind of tell them the boys what to do.
So is there a way for us to get the link to the GoFundMe?
Yeah, I actually have it. We're gonna try and change it though, because it's kind of just it's just GoFundMe / a bunch of random letters. But we're gonna have Mr. Wyckoff send an email out to all the staff, so they can send it.
We think that would be nice. Because yes, we did get the Jesus GoFundMe page.
And make sure James gets that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you. 11:47, the first interim financial report. Tina?
So as you know, our budget is not static, it's always changing. And it's just a snapshot at a moment in time of the best information that we have available. And this first interim report that we're required to do covers July 1st, 2015 to October 31st, 2015. So I just want to go over a couple of the key points that I think are important. And first, starting with our revenues, we have 2 one-time revenue funding sources. One is for professional development. It's called the Educator Effectiveness Funding. And the other is actually not new revenue. It is funding that has been owed to districts for a long time for backlogged mandated cost reimbursements that haven't been paid. So we're finally getting some of that, and it still isn't up to the amount that we would be owed at the state. Also, the Prop 30 EPA funds, those are set to, it seems far away, but those are set to expire in 2018, so 2 more years after this. For expenditures, I think it's important to notice that the employer contribution rates are going up quite significantly for both STRS and PERS. And as you know, STRS is, those rates are set only by legislative action. In this case, it's AB 1649. And our rate has gone up since July 2013. It's anticipated to over double by 2020, up to 19.1%, which is pretty significant. HERS is anticipated to be about 20.4% by 2020. It's a little different because the HERS board determines that rate. And that's really based on actuarial valuation, so that is a little bit more volatile than STRS rates. And last, just want to go over our fund balances. As you can see, our unassigned fund balance as 8% of our unrestricted expenditures is about 19%, and as a percent of our unrestricted and restricted expenditures together is about 15%. And the the Department of Finance recommends that districts such as ours, so community funded districts, maintain around a 17% reserve for unexpected. And that's it, unless there's any questions.
Any questions, comments? No? Thank you. We have you ready for the microphone. Let's continue with the budget calendar.
So, we have the budget calendar in front of you that we will put in use for next year for the development process. I don't think there's any significant changes. It was the same format that was used last year. So, any questions?
Any questions? Thank you. 11.9, Prop 39, exterior lighting project.
Chris previously mentioned that we were looking at installing lighting in the basketball courts by the fire lane, by the entrance on the Washington Street. That's Grant Street for the high school. We have gone out to bid basically for the cost of that project. And on this page, we haven't yet entered into or accepted any of the bids because I wanted to have the opportunity to bring this to the board. And I know that Trustee Hunt, unfortunately he's not here today, but he was very interested in seeing what the bids came out to be. As you can see, it shows that it's not an inexpensive project. It is going to be costly. So we will look at you for direction as to whether we want to pursue it or not, or if we want to table it and wait until Trustee Hunt also is here.
That's very interesting that three of the bidders had, pretty similar, they were in the same range kind of pricing, and one jumped to almost double the other one. So,
I know that we are interested, obviously, in providing our students with activities that they can, healthy activities, that they can engage in after hours. So we felt that this would be allowing many of our students, and many of our students do use those basketball courts to play longer into the hours of the evening. So anyway, I'd like to ask you as to whether you want us to proceed or if we want to wait until the next board meeting.
Just a question, as Chris mentioned earlier about Prop 39, is there a financial contribution from that at all, or are we
We could use that, and actually I'm going to look at Jenna to see if that we have enough funding in that area to be able to use it for that. But it's a new project, so. Chris? Because it says Prop 39.
Yeah, that's the Prop 39 is separate from the basketball. The Prop 39
But this is the basketball court right here.
So the architect's just working on getting the sheet.
No, this is specific to just the block 39.
So it's just updating all the modernizing, all improving, updating all the lights.
Basketball courts is a separate.
So this bid that we're looking at, 11.9, the sheet of bids does not refer to the basketball court. This is an additional project that would fall under.
Well, that was just a.
Okay.
This is actually a state funded project. It won't come out from our budget. It's funds that the state provides to help schools upgrade to an energy efficient lights.
Yes, we do have, currently have.
So
We have funding for what?
For this one right here, for this one right here.
Which is,
The improving of the lighting throughout the district, basically, upgrading the lighting to more efficient lighting.
So for the architects that did the original plan to get the funding, all the footwork and formulas required to determine if the proposed lighting project is going to get us the savings that are required for the concrete that project, was determined that basketball courts don't fall under that umbrella for what lights, what type of lights would be approved for them. So you can see the shade structure ultimate in there. There's certain areas of the campus that didn't fall under the Prop 39 guidelines. So I have them, since we were doing the project, have them do alternates for us to fund the shade structures, since we're already doing work, to have shade structure done and to have a clock installed.
Chris, I had asked for the cost of the basketball goals.
Yeah,
Do you have that?
no, I don't have it from these yet.
Okay.
all right, I'd like to just see all the information, all the bids, and the scope of the work involved in all cases, both for the base bid, and the two alternates, as well as the basketball court, just so we can see exactly what we're talking about financially for the whole project, not just pieces of it.
Yeah, and then we can revise this in the next board meeting, and, we could continue to go across the country, but many questions about it, to review it, and then, so.
Okay, yeah, well, again, this is just an information item anyway, so we're not, so we'll bring this back.
Thank you. 11:14, LCAP, Chronicle report.
Under that written report, I'd just like to basically highlight 2 grants that we have applied for. And one of those is for food services. We are hoping that we're successful because definitely Ed has a vision as to what he would like to see that. But again, it's just to let you know that we have applied for that. I have also informed you previously that we have applied for a CTE grant. And we're hoping to be successful for that.
Any questions? Thank you. 11.11, pesticides applications and schedule.
As you know, that has been brought up as an issue, and just wanted to let you know and make it, place it formally on the board packet, that we have agreed to a consistent schedule. And it has been distributed to parents, it has been posted in different locations, so there should be no question as to when we are spraying in the future.
Just to make sure that it's going to be on the website, right?
good luck.
And I see that it's consolidated. Thank you for that. Item 12.0, the consent calendar. Actions proposed for the consent agenda are in routine in nature and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless any member of the board All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No? And actually, this is our roll call. Clerk Maxfield?
Aye.
Trustee Alderson? Aye. Trustee Junior?
Aye.
Student Rep. Aye. Thank you. President Lopez? Aye. Thank you. 14.0, organizational meeting for the Board of Trustees. The first one is 14.1, the election of board officers. At this point, I would like to consider nominations and, and appointing the governing board president for 2016. So we have a nomination for the board president, and I need a motion to,
I move that we elect Jeff Maxfield as board president for 2016.
need a second.
Thank you.
I didn't ask you to.
He doesn't get a choice.
It's like, you know what? I volunteer. He stepped forward and steps back.
Okay, student rep?
Yes.
Okay.
You can sit.
Do you have any questions? Just please ask. Yeah, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? I would like now to consider nominations and appointing for the governing board clerk for 2016.
And I move that we appoint Julie as the
Great, thank you. Okay, I need okay, I need a second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Student rep. Yes. And all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Okay, so I guess we want to ask that our new officers of the board take their seat. Well, it says here.
We're just handing the hand.
It says to take their seat, so I was actually going to do the chair there.
Just don't throw it.
Thank you. Thank you. All right.
So, do you want me to finish up or you can finish up?
I think that we can
Well then, that would move us to 14.4.
14.4. Yes, indeed.
Yes, we recognize Indira for the service she is doing to the board.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well done.
Yes, so again, is this would be a nice time to mention that what other things we can do in the CSP?
Of course, I'll be happy to. As you know, I'm the appointed delegate for the state CSBA delegate assembly, and I recently was contacted by Chris Humbert, who's the CSBA newly elected president, asking me to be represent Calistoga, our little small district, in the committee that is organizing the CSBA state conference in San Francisco next year. So they are really very interested on knowing what our needs are as a small district, and they want to include us in the whole planning process. So I'm going to be asking for your input on the things that I'm going to bring to the committee. So this is a great honor for us.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, thanks a lot. It's a lot of extra work.
It is, but I'm very happy to, a lot of times with sessions
I'm sure there will be other items added.
Item 16, board calendar. On Monday, January 11th, we're going to have a governance workshop at 5 o'clock here in the multipurpose room, but we'll do a regular board meeting not until 7. So it's 2 hours.
Just a correction, the governance workshop will be in the conference room.
And then Monday, February 1st, regular board meeting here. What's time's just long. Item 17, events, minimum days, end of the first semester, December 18th. Winter break, 3 weeks, huh? 3 weeks. No need to reconvene to close session. And
I moved over. I'll second that.
I would like to introduce Nicole Lamar, who is our new site administrator at CES at the elementary school. Welcome, Nicole.
welcome.
So right now I've been transitioning since Thanksgiving break. I started to work over at Hellstowe Elementary 2 days a week. I'll actually be there tomorrow and Thursday. Currently, I'm serving as the principal at Sandial Elementary, which is the Northwest Union School District. Which if you go over Northwest Springs Road, you're right there, so right next door. And so I am finishing up there. We have some staff release days where we're doing professional development. And so the natural ending point for me there would be on December 18th, and then I'll be starting full-time here in January. Looking forward to working with this community, the students, teachers, co-admin. Jane's been great and flexible as I'm asking my 8 million questions. And just really excited about the things that are going on in the elementary schools. Thank you.
Well, welcome.
Welcome aboard.